Alright guys, welcome to a new tutorial series where we are going to build a chat app that is going to be built on the Firestore and MVVM architecture, and we will also be using navigation that is a part of Android Jetpack component. So in this one I'm just going to demonstrate that what the app is going to look like. And if you see here, I have some users and one user is logged in. If I go in, we have a chat with this user, so we can see that it's being shown here, the messages. And on my other device that I'm trying to display in here, but it's not working for somehow. If I stop that, that means like if I'm not using that app on the other phone, then it goes offline. So you are able to see the status also, and there I came online again. Maybe I'll just try to show it here. Yeah, okay, I think so. Now it will be displayed here. Okay, so we will see on this one that okay, this is my second device, and if I check here, so it's coming online. If I Yeah, so I have like stopped interacting with the app, so it is showing offline. If I go back again, it is showing online. And here if I click, I can update my name or photo. So you see here the name is being updated here. And yeah, that's all pretty much. But what is so special and why do we design this app? Because this is on the MVVM architecture, and the previous app that I have done on Firestore, Firebase real-time database, it's not done on MVVM. So this is just the same thing, but this is done on a more latest industry standard style. So yeah, without further ado, let's get right into it. And we will be doing like a totally whole new project. And yeah, so I'll just yeah, make it like a neutral, and we can minimize it. And first of all, so it's a lot of work to like design the whole layout. So I'm going to copy the layout from my previous project. We can name it messenger, and I have already copied my some of the code just for the XML layout, and I can explain it uh, while we gonna use that. So meanwhile it's loading, I would just pause the video. So our project has loaded successfully, and first I will just go to the rest folder because this is where our most of the layout and everything, the assets and everything would be. So I'm going to replace it with my old project one because it would take like 2 hours to create the whole layout. And yeah, we'll just go to, and you would be able to download these files in the GitHub repository that I'm going to provide in the description. So all of my videos, they have this, they always have the GitHub. So make sure to follow me on GitHub and on Instagram. So this is where I have like pasted my rest folder, and let's see what do we see here. So yeah, the navigation. Yeah, we are going to use navigation in this to pass the values and also the, in loose language I can say, the intents, like from which fragment to which fragment you want to go. All that process is going to take place on the navigation. So this is, I've already done from there. Yeah, and I would just go in the themes because something is messed up, and we would go to our manifest and change this. We'll come towards the UI in the very last tutorial to make it a little bit more better, but for now let's just go with whatever that we are seeing. So I will explain one by one what each fragment does, and then we would be all ready to, work on the main logic of the app. So the reason this I'm seeing this error is because I have to add the dependencies of image view, and also because I'm using a circular image view, so we would need that. And I can add it here in my Gradle. And also we would need this multi-dex. So after this we'll just integrate Firebase in this, and then we are going to just work on the logic of the app. Okay, so let's just go. If you have not installed Firebase, I've done it so many times in my tutorials. Maybe you should check out like my previous tutorials, or from here settings you can find plugins and all that and install Firebase. But if you already have Firebase, then you can find it in the tools. And first of all, we need authentication because we want to sign up the user. So what I'll do is connect to Firebase. It would launch an automatic web flow, and you can just log into any of your Google account. So I'll end this tutorial once the Firebase integration is done. Yeah, Messenger, continue, continue, and I'll pause the video for now. So this is done, and what I would do here is, yeah, if you have followed every step of this tutorial, then you would be directed to this screen. And if not, then maybe your app is not linked with Firebase, so you have to make sure that you reach this, and then you can go back. So don't worry about this one. just close this message. And first and foremost, we have to uh, see what authentication methods we want to use, whether we want to use a Google sign in, Facebook sign in, or like no password anonymous sign in. I'm just going to use email and password, but there are other methods that you can use to, sign, create an authentication for your application. Yeah, make sure to start uh, your Firestore into the test mode, because there are security rules in the production mode that you have to follow, and that's a video for another day. But when we are only learning, then we can just use this unsafe practice of working in the test mode of Firebase, where all the users can read or write. But if you are creating an app on a professional level, then you would have to like do it in a production mode. So we can see this green check mark, and now we will add the dependency of Firebase authentication in our Gradle. This adds it automatically. If you want to hard code it, then it is hard to remember. So we'll go back, and meanwhile that is done, we also need Cloud Firestore. So we would be just waiting for this one to finish and to add the next one. And if you see here, this is being shown in here. Yeah, and we'll add this one also. And lastly, we need the Firebase storage. So Firestore dependencies added here, and lastly from Firebase we need the storage one. So that is being added here. And one more thing, we need to pass the arguments during the activity, among the activity, like passing values, such as when we want to pass one value from one place to another place, one activity to another activity, we are using navigation arguments for that. So let's just add this one here, and we can update it. Coming back in here, we need to add the plugin for this. So we'll add id Android X navigation safe args, and all the dependencies and integrations I think are done. And let me see the time. Yeah, so we'll be just creating some fragments real quick in this tutorial, and then I'll just end it, because we have just copied the layout, so that is why we do not have the uh, fragments for like where we write the logic. So first is chat fragment, and I can just name it delete one, because we are not going to use the layout files. And then we have the login fragment, and we can delete it to delete to. And then we have register fragment, where we register the user, and then we have profile fragment where we update the photo or anything that we want to update. And we have the user fragment where we are displaying the users. Fragment blank user. Okay, I think our fragments are done, and we can just delete these layouts that have been auto generated with those fragments. And we will attach these layouts to our fragments. So I'll just come in here, fragment user, profile to profile, profile, fragment login, fragment chat, and fragment register. So I think this is done, and we're going back to our navigation graph, and we'll try to rename it with our app. App name is messenger, messenger login fragment, because we weren't seeing the preview. So because of this, because I had imported it from, and for this is going to be a user fragment. And this is going to be a register fragment. And lastly, it is going to be a messenger chat fragment. And okay, so okay, there is another one, messenger profile fragment. Perfect. Our layout is working well, and I will end this tutorial, so we'll go back and understand the layouts a little bit, and also just get right to the logic part. Thank you for watching, guys. Subscribe and see you in the next one.